Welcome to you all on this first Sunday of 2022. Today, we celebrate the close of one chapter so that a new chapter might begin. And we do so with the symbol and ritual of the renewing power of fire, a symbol we invoke with our flaming chalice every Sunday and nearly every time we come together in big or small ways to pursue our mission of creating beloved community, acting together with compassion, reason, and respect while we promote justice throughout the world. I am Reverend Nick Filzen, and I'm joined today by worship host Jezebel Knott and music director David Netches, and just the tech team back there, Stephen and Remus. Thank you all. And other than that, this building is a little empty. My family's here, but we'll get to them later. Obviously, we are only meeting virtually today, but if you're visiting for the first time, you're of course welcome along with everyone else here in this virtual space. Please consider coming back when we can safely return to hybrid worship. I'd like to share a few community highlights with you this morning. Throughout this month, I'm going to plug our new Soul Circles program with you as much as I can, in hopes that as many people as possible sign up. There was an ad for the program on the front page of the newsletter yesterday with a beautiful logo provided by Ray Randolph. Along with Ray, Natalia Bowden, Bill Height, and I have been planning this covenantal small group ministry in response to needs expressed in listening circles for enhanced community and adult faith formation. Monthly meetings for this program will be on the fourth Thursday of each month between January and June from 6 to 8 p.m. Dinner and childcare will be provided to reduce some typical barriers to entry for folks to join us on weekday evenings. We hope that if you sign up, you make a commitment to come each time. This will make the experience as rich and as rewarding as possible for everyone involved. A sign-up will be sent out soon to help us plan appropriately for the event. Stay tuned for more information for this exciting new program. Our Realm rollout continues. We're trying to move most of our communication to that platform to meet the communication needs also expressed in listening circles. If you haven't already signed up, please look for an invitation by email. Even if you don't sign up, we will still be able to communicate to you through it, but you'll likely get far more out of the experience if you make a profile. If you haven't seen an invite in your email, please let Alan George or Marsha Wurst or Natalie Reese know, and they'll send one your way and help you with the process. Directly following the service today, we were going to bring our holiday season to a close and take down the greens around the sanctuary and the building and put them in storage until next year. Obviously, that isn't happening today, both because we're virtual and because of the weather. The next time we can safely come together, I hope folks will stick around after church to help with that ritual. Now, may we enter our time of worship as we enter this new year, intentionally leaving behind the old so that we might fully embrace all the new possibilities.
We light this chalice at the brink of a new year, letting go of what has been, open and hopeful for what may come, renewed, restored, ready to live life fully anew. May we move forward with intention.
Please join us as we sing our first hymn this morning, Morning Has Come, number 1000 in your hymnals if you have one at home. The lyrics will be displayed on the screen for you to join along. Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. A new day dawns, once more the gift is given. Wonder fills this moment shared together. The light of peace here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Open hearts to welcome it among us. The light of love here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. I'm going to ask my daughters, Noah and Charlie, to come up to act as avatars today for our story for all ages. Now, girls, you may not know this, but there have been many versions of the Phoenix story. You know about the Phoenix, right? You ever heard about the Phoenix? It's a mythological creature that shows up in all kinds of places, including Harry Potter and the X-Men comics. Luckily, we have the Phoenix with us today to tell her story, which is very similar to the version Hans Christian Andersen told. Christian Andersen was a Dutch Unitarian who wrote a lot of fairy tales, all of which contained a great deal of meaning and truth. I'll ask you about what meaning you make of this story after the Phoenix, finishes telling it.
There was a rose bush beneath a tree in a beautiful garden. A bird was born in the first rose. Her feathers were beautiful, her song glorious. When she flew, it was like flashing of light. When a heavenly spark fell from the sky, it touched the bird, and she died in the flames. After she died, there remained a red egg in the bird's nest. When it hatched, a new bird flew out, the only one of its kind, the solitary phoenix bird. The legend tells us how she lives in Arabia and how every century she burns herself to death in her nest. Each time, a new phoenix, the only one in the world, flies out from a red egg. But the phoenix doesn't just live in Arabia. In Egypt, she is the Bennu bird, harbinger of creation. In the glimmer of the northern lights, she flies over the tundra of Alaska and hops amid the yellow flowers in the short Anchorage summer. Deep beneath the purple mountains of Colorado and in West Virginia's coal mine, she flies in the form of a powdered moth over the hymnal resting in the hands of the miner. She floats down the sacred waters of the Ganges in India on a lotus leaf, and the eye of the Hindu maid brightens when she beholds her. The phoenix, symbolizing eternal flame and renewal in many, many shapes and many forms. The bird of paradise, renewed each century, born in flame, dying in flame. Her picture, in a frame of gold, hangs in the halls of the rich. But she often flies around today, lonely and misunderstood. She is a myth only, the phoenix bird of Arabia. When I was born in the garden of paradise, its first rose beneath the tree of wisdom, nature kissed me and gave me the name poetry.
Thank you to our excellent Phoenix. Now, girls, and anybody at home, Hans Christian Andersen felt that the Phoenix symbolizes poetry. What do you think the Phoenix represents? Microphone. David, microphone.
I think the phoenix could represent life and death, and how anything that dies can be reborn.
I love that. Thank you, Noah. Charlie, you have anything that you want to say? Take your mask off.
One thing I think the phoenix represents is life and how it can make other things live too.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you both for those thoughts. Now, who or what in your lives might be a phoenix? We got one more question for them, David. One more question for him. Who or what in your life might be a phoenix?
Plants,
That's
because whenever they die, their seeds always float away and more are born.
That is fantastic. Thank you for that, Noah. What about you, Charlie? Is there anybody or anything that you can think of that might be a phoenix? If you don't have an answer, that's okay. Okay. She signaled with the mask going back up. Now, thank you both, and thank you again to Phoenix, Jezebel the Phoenix, for the story today as we sing our kids back out to the world. As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, may you grow. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go. Now is a time in our service where we take a moment to reconnect with our bodies, our souls, our spirit, our breath, where you can reconnect with the ground beneath you, perhaps feel the world as intentionally as you can around you. As we enter into this time of prayer and meditation, each from our own homes, our own sanctuaries in our lives. blessed spirit of life and love, and sometimes destruction. We first want to offer you thanks. Thanks for this new year with all of its possibilities and high expectations. Thanks that we can continue to meet together, even if not physically, through the technology available to us. Thanks for the people with whom we co-create and shape that which has worth. I personally have tremendous gratitude for the ability to make beauty and art and meaning with the dear people in this physical space with me today. And as we offer that gratitude, I think it's also very much okay to grieve and mourn and lament that which we don't have access to, or that which has been lost, or who has been lost. I think today, with the symbolism of fire with which we're playing, it's especially powerful to notice and be aware of and send our deepest love and care to the people in Boulder, Colorado, who have lost so much in a terrifying firestorm. Firestorms that happen far too often. I also think that the loss of Betty White holds a lot of meaning for me and so many others. She is literally the example of somebody that lived a long, full, rich life, and yet seems like she didn't live quite long enough. Isn't that how so much grief is? It's tangled up with all the good memories and all the beauty and all the inspiration of people's memory in our hearts, and also the loss that we will feel and continue to feel. May we, as a church community, as a city, as a country, as a world, do all we can to be that same kind of exemplar for beauty and love in this world that Betty White so well modeled for us. And as we enter this new year, there is so much hope that all of the added stress of the last 2 full years of pandemic life will soon dissipate and burn away so that our lives may fully flourish together. Blessed be, and amen.
I thought you were doing it. Okay. We are still here, virtually, if not physically, and it is in these times that our community continues to strengthen ourselves through offering hope, comfort, the connection of Zoom, and we also ask for your generosity to continue our work, to continue to grow, so that we may pull through this continued dark time until we reach the light of spring and the fruition of all of our hopes in this burning time. The link to give will be posted on the screen.
The symbol of the flaming chalice. Here in our our own flaming chalice along the wall back here is potent with significance for us Unitarian Universalists. Originating from the liberative work of the Unitarian Service Committee, now the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, during World War II, it eventually emerged as a connecting ritual for all UUs, with special influence by children's religious education classes. Lots of meaning can be made from it. I often tend to think of the fire as the beginning of something. It inspires future action. The fire still burns even when things seem bleak. It provides the heat of alchemy for a community to magically become a new thing together. So, scholar and religious naturalist Dr. Ursula Goodenough would say this is something else from nothing but. How all life forms ever have evolved and emerged. The chalice itself that contains the fire is a shared cup that connects our souls in generous and supportive ways and connects us to our Christian ancestors. These are all important meanings for me personally. Yet, as I was thinking about today's service and the theme of intentionally letting things go to develop your inner self, I realized that the flaming chalice can also mark the end of something or a transition. It's not merely a symbol of the good to come, but also letting the stuff that no longer serves us behind us, leaving it behind us. Even as it destroys, the fire can be cleansing, protective, even life-saving. And allowing this symbol to impact us so that we might let those things go is a deeply intentional and graceful process. Sometimes, when it feels like the world around us is burning, because in many places it is, it's necessary to burn the old away, to keep the most destructive fires at bay, literally and metaphorically, poetically. I think we can learn a lot about the importance of this practice from the ancient practice of controlled burns, or prescribed fires. To help with this connection, I'm going to be in conversation today with a July 29th, 2021 Washington Post article by Amanda Monte, Zoe-Ann Murphy, Lo Benechu, Shika Subramaniam, and Dylan Moriarty, entitled Fighting Fire with Fire. Each time a quote from the article is shared, Jezebel will read, and then I'll make meaning of it for us and our context today.
Smoke rising from the forest is ominous. It's often the first alarm of another wildfire, sparked by lightning or carelessness, about to turn catastrophic and deadly. Prescribed fires may reduce scorched earth, experts agree, and regenerate healthy forests made weak by drought, climate change, and bad policy. They build a buffer to protect communities and create a clear space for firefighters to do their work. An ancient art perfected by indigenous people and verified by scientific data, the practice could be used more in the struggle against ever-intensifying wildfires and climate change.
Beyond some important information here about how we can limit the impact of climate change, symbolism is rich. Our lives are impacted more and more by the sheer amount of nonsense that comes at us each day. We can't hold on to it all. There just isn't enough space, and we're just adding more and more fuel to a potential uncontrolled blaze. Monte et al. Continue to tell of a specific prescribed burn out west.
Fire crews prepare to burn around 120 acres of forest in Montana. The goal: reduce the combustible vegetation that is fast fuel for wildfires and beef up protection for the community. Fire engines stand by in case water is needed to control hot spots within the fire lines or any spots that occur outside of these boundaries, which in this case are existing roads. The burn boss is responsible for executing the burn as it was planned, coordinating resources, and monitoring smoke.
While the temperature of our lives increases, if we keep feeding the old growth underbrush, if any of it were to catch on fire, everything will go up in flames. If we do a controlled burn of that which isn't needed anymore, then we might have a chance. It allows new things to grow and for other life to flourish. There's great intentionality and care that goes into this practice. Obviously, if you just light it on fire without any preparation or boundaries, then you're not really mitigating any risk, just scorching the earth yourself. So to do a safe prescribed burn, you need to know how you'd like to grow instead. In the most recent UUCA newsletter, which was posted yesterday, I shared my professional developmental plan. This plan isn't just a professional requirement for me while I'm in preliminary fellowship as a UU minister. Though it is required of me, it is still a wise practice to always be noticing my developing edges and areas of my life that need more attention. Having a specified list of ends I hope to accomplish, and I'm not talking about a New Year's resolution here, it makes it far more likely that I'll be intentional about addressing those things. Now, importantly, almost all my intentions are about more than my own skills and training. They're almost exclusively about my relationship with others and how we work together. After the prescribed burn in Montana, a U.S. forest agent explains in an embedded video within the same article.
Now, some of the woody debris after a prescribed burn is actually going to be beneficial in the long term for small species of wildlife. A lot of these plants and even animals have adapted and evolved over time to live with fire. In the video, you can already see some of the new leafy green forages coming through in areas where it burned. This will be ideal. Wildlife browse and nutrition for bears and elk and deer throughout the summer.
Now, just like in Montana, your prescribed fires and intentional vision for what comes after is more than just about you. It takes way more than just you to plan and safely implement the burning away of the old. You don't have to rely on yourself to do this generatively destructive work. Hopefully, you have a support system of friends and family upon whom you can rely. Hopefully, you have professionals who can work through things like a therapist or me. I will always make time to discuss what's on your heart with you. Certainly, I want to share in your joys, and I'm also available to journey with your sorrows or any burden weighing on your soul. I can help you spark the needed flame and keep it under control to burn the potentially dangerous fuel away. Let me be part of your firefighting team. And together we can be thoughtful and contextual about what needs to be burned away and how.
Firefighters stagger across the landscape, forming a line. Each one has a deep well of experience with how fire, land, and wind interact. Eastern slopes get the least sun and hold more moisture. They need more fire to reduce the fuel. South and western slopes are hotter and drier. Using less fire here will ensure that things don't burn too hot.
Rituals can help with this process anytime, and are certainly apropos in our faith context. In a few moments, we'll perform one of my favorite rituals, the burning bowl. I mailed flash paper to everyone in the church on Thursday, along with some help from the family. Once we determined it was unsafe to meet here in person today. This flash paper is specially treated paper that evaporates in fire, leaving no ash or residue. I hope that you received it in time to perform this ritual this morning. If not, I invite you to burn another piece of paper near you. You can also wait until you do receive a flash paper I sent and do the ritual again then. Your choice. Or do them both times. If you have more paper or more people in the house than pieces of flash paper you received, feel free to cut them in half to have more. Being wary that with kids, this flash paper is very, very flammable, so keep that in mind. If we missed you while mailing them all out, I sincerely apologize. We had to make some rapid changes for this service this week once we determined it would be best to do it entirely virtual. If you don't already have these items, I'll give you a few moments to find them before continuing. Now, once you have the flash paper or another piece of paper in front of you, reflect on the year behind you. Consider what you might leave behind today, burning it brightly so that it changes form and disappears. What parts of our lives, what things, ideas, people, ways of living, what parts of our lives have become obstacles toward becoming the people that we want to be, the people we need to be? What's holding you back? What's getting in the way of you living as fully as you'd like to? What might you burn away? What will you relinquish? Now, considering all these questions upon which you've been reflecting, write a word or two on the paper in front of you. Nobody will see it except you, the flame, and the universe. For the next few minutes, music will continue playing so you can find fire, paper, and a writing tool. And continue writing on your thoughts if you haven't. And then put your paper into the fire. Here in the sanctuary, we'll use the flame for our chalice. I hope you have a personal chalice at home, but if not, that's fine. You can use any flame. We know this isn't the perfect situation and may not have the exact right tools available, but I still think we can find deep meaning in this ritual. And once lit, the flames will take it very quickly. As the flame takes the paper, let it go, like this.
This is what good smoke looks like. It drifts, then disperses when the fire is intentionally set and controlled to burn off brush and fallen trees.
We'll give you all just a few moments to do the ritual at home. Our chalice contains so much symbolism and meaning for us. Today, it acts as a shared, renewing flame. May it burn away that which is weighing on our hearts, our souls. May it bring a new lightness and vitality to that which we'd like to retain. Reduce the fuel that might take it all away. and may we all flourish with new life together. Come my way, my truth, my life, such a way as gives us breath, such a truth as ends all strife, such a life as killeth death. Come, my light, my feast, my strength, such a light as shows a feast, such a feast as mends in length, such a strength as makes a guest. Come, my joy, my love, my heart, such a joy as none can move, such a love as none can part, such a heart as joys in love. In her novel, White Oleander, Janet Fitch writes, "The phoenix must burn to emerge. May our lives be that of a phoenix. May our dangerous undergrowth be burned in a flash to fuel flourishing, radiant life." Happy New Year, everyone. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free.